Oh, and then I tried to I got guitar strings, and I tried to string up my my boogie body, and god damn, I was just having the hardest time with the fucking Floyd Rose. Floyd Roses are just fucking a disaster for me. So yeah, so it's just trying to get the screw tight enough to hold on to the string. It just wasn't fucking gripping the string for some reason. So every time I would think it was tight enough, and I'd go to start tuning it, it would pop out of the bottom and shit.
Yeah.
So finally, I just put it back on the stand, and I said, "All right, you're sitting there for a while." The string's still just all kind of tweaked off in the left field and shit. But I was like, "All right, I might just let you sit." So yeah.
Yep, that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hassle.
But I did restring my my Squire, because I got this Squire. It's the 5th one I've had, so it's number 5, and it's a certain type that I like because I love the maple fingerboard and stuff. It was a certain year that I just really liked it and stuff, and it was one of the guitars that I had put up on the wall at Louis G's. Which I didn't know he was just going to screw him to the wall. I actually put a hole through the guitar and shit. So it's just like, fuck. So I said, fuck it. You know, I mean, it's got a shit ton of stickers all over it anyways. But when I put it up there, I forgot that it had this super old DiMarzio pickup in it. This DiMarzio humbucker pickup in it. And I forgot about that. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. You know, and I thought, I'm going to have to swap it out. And that was kind of a hassle because, you know, the owner was being kind of a weird about it and stuff. And then he sold, then the new owner, they, you know, when we sold the company, they just said, hey, take it, you know. So I strung that up, and that one plays really good and stuff. I'm happy about that. And then I got one more set of strings. I've decided whether or not to use those to restring my Floyd. Try to restring my Floyd. But it's just that the gauges I was using was like ultra slinky, so it's even lighter than super slinky. And I thought that, hey, you know, maybe this will be even easier for me to play, and that's why I was using it. But those strings are just so fucking thin that the Floyd pegs don't want to hold it. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out a creative way to maybe put a kink in it or something, or wrap it underneath the bottom
I
of
don't
the
know.
thing.
You start to get funky with things, and it's going to bite you in the ass. This is never good. You already know that this is like...
I know. Well, at least it's just one little tiny peg of metal. So, and the string is so thin, the string can't do any damage to any of the components. So I'm not worried about, you know, if I put it in wrong, it's going to strip something out. Because it's not, that just won't happen. I'm not worried about that. If anything, the string will break. So I'm just trying to prevent it not to break. So, but I think it's like, so it's the G string, but it's like 11. It's 11 gauge, or it's a G string. So I mean, because the high E is 8.
I gotta be honest, man. I'm not even listening to you talk anymore because I'm thinking about putting the mic in front of Jesus so that, like, if we wanted to, we could have Jesus talk during the show as our third thing.
That's a fantastic idea. I'm gonna do that.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are I'm being free. These days are
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. We're your hosts today. I'm Potter.
I'm Chris.
And
that's Jesus.
Jesus is here with us because Ashley couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So Jesus is our co-pilot.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll be very talkative, but, you know.
I'm sure he'll give us some words of wisdom here and there. Mm-hmm. He'll just pop out of nowhere, I have a feeling. So,
if you hear anything else going on, that's people scraping the roof. Getting snow off the roof. That's what's going on.
Yep.
We're doing a show now. We're into the show. This is the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. Like I
Yep.
said, we come here every week. We play songs from the greater Tacoma area, Pierce County region, Gig Harbor, and Lakewood, and Spanaway, and Graham, and Ording, and Bonnie Lake, and any other place that we can think of that is around us. Like places that don't even have names, just areas. Frederickson. If you're living in Frederickson, you know, an unincorporated part of Pierce County, just outside of Pierce County. Sometimes Olympia, Lacey, like on accident. Seattle, people who trick us, who lie to us. We'll play you guys too. We'll play all kinds of stuff.
But we catch on to those tricky guys.
We do, and I just
catch on
light
to
them out. It's like, oh, you don't even live here. You guys are liars.
Yep.
Um,
Con artists.
Yep.
Jesus. Oh, sorry.
What?
I said, oh, Jesus.
He understands. Like, if anyone understands.
Have anything to say? All right.
He might. We'll know. We'll know in the edit whether or not.
Oh, I
he
know.
said it.
I know. Yeah, we have to wait for the edit to see what real is going on.
Thing about like Jesus is that, it's like a ghost doesn't pick up. Like, you know how like a vampire, you don't see a vampire in a mirror, but sometimes like also like a ghost, you take a picture
and I figured out why you don't see a vampire in a mirror.
Why?
Well, actually, you don't see a vampire in old mirrors.
Old mirrors. Oh, that's right.
Because they were coated with silver.
That's right.
But the new mirrors, they're done with chrome and shit like that. So it's very possible that you'll see a vampire in normal mirrors now. So that totally throws that whole off. So you might be standing next to a vampire right now and not even know it.
It's a good point, Chris.
You might not even know it. I mean, that's why the world is going to hell in a handbasket right now. Don't know.
It would only be one of many reasons. There's a lot of reasons.
Oh, I know.
You know, you can't heap all of that on vampires.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a start.
Yeah, but that is exactly how, you know, we get situations like Gina Carano. Like, I don't know how you've been following the Gina Carano situation, but everyone's persecuted. Yeah. Everyone's a victim all of a sudden. Yeah. You know, we're all Jews in the gas chambers now because someone doesn't like our opinion. And
well, I mean, I kind of understand.
I understand what she's saying too. I understand what she's saying. Yep. I do.
And I also understand Disney's side too.
Yeah.
Because they're family oriented. They actually made movies that were against Jews or against Nazis and stuff. You know?
She's under contract when we get down at the end of the day. She's under contract specifically. Well, at least she was under contract that would prevent her from saying a lot of these things. But one thing that I think that I'm pretty sure is that she's not been under contract while she's been saying a lot of these things. She's been doing this apparently since November, which is about which time she was maybe not under contract anymore. So what it more seems like is that she was burning the bridge so that she couldn't come back, almost deliberately. This is like, because it was her choice, but it wasn't like she got fired. She didn't get fired. She didn't get terminated.
They just didn't.
We're not bringing you back. Now, I was under the impression she was supposed to be the star or amongst a ensemble cast in the Guardians of the Republic or something, Defenders of the Realm, Dune, whatever.
I've heard they're possibly recasting her.
Yeah, that could be possible too. But she just may not play a role anymore. You know, it's very easy to. She's just not here anymore. No. You know, there's all kinds of people in Star Wars you just never see again. You don't think of unless you do see him again. And you're like, oh, there's that guy.
Oh. All right, we didn't think we'd see Boba Fett, and here he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, we'll make it through. I ain't too concerned about that. There's bigger fish in the world to worry about and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. It was not as big a deal as everyone wants to make it, but everyone wants to make such a big deal out of everything. It's all so sensationalized and dramatic and just, oh my God, it's the end of the world. You won't believe it. This is happening. That's happening. Oh my God. It's like, it's really not. You know, you can turn off your computer for a week and come back and find out that it's just not that big a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, put your phone down. Mm-hmm. Don't pick it up for a week. Come back and you'll find out, oh, I guess it was not that big a deal. Because there's something else that's a really big deal right now, and then everyone's so outraged about it. Yeah. Yep.
There's always going to be something. There's always going to be the new thing and stuff, the new distraction. So
it's like, oh my God, you see Madonna coming out in a new bra. How dare she wear that in public at her age? It's just something.
I'm still waiting for Obamagate.
The new Obamagate, the next one? Always something.
Or the tan suit. Oh, how dare he.
Yep, that's funny.
I'm sure there's a bunch more stuff that nobody gives a fuck about. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's plenty of stuff that people give all the fucks about. Like music.
Yep. Are you segueing us into songs?
From right around here.
Should we be playing songs now? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's hear some songs. I've got so many songs. I've got, like, we're basically, what we're right in the middle of is, like, 2 or 3 shows colliding into one show at once. This is like...
So a song-mageddon?
It's like parallel universes, but if the dimensions were stripped away and those parallel universes collided, and all of a sudden there was like 3 Spider-Men in one universe or something, or crazy shit like that.
The
like,
Spider-Verse.
It's kind of like that. Because I've got like 3
already.
Shows, and I'm like, I like all the songs from every show. I'm like, I got to put some of this. And it's like, it's just, I'm overwhelmed with all the songs that I've got to play right now.
All right.
Hey. Hey, yo. Hey, hey. Yo. Somos parqueros, somos parqueros, somos parqueros, somos parqueros. Now you wouldn't believe what I seen today. Beautiful green in a scene of gray. Another sunny day in the middle of May, chilling in Palermo. So I look for a park somewhere to lay in the grass on my back as I pass back and forth between a couple of friends. I got some time to spend, hoping these days will never end. Escaping the chaos of the city, thinking of words, trying to be witty, thinking of her, damn how pretty. Thinking of life and how it sticks with me, and then it hits me, and like the air it's crispy. I love this beautiful place, you can see it in my face, but just in case, let me put it in terms you can't equate. It's like my problems have no weight as I skate on a gold plate, dancing with fate in the shape of a figure 8. So I throw up 2 fingers for peace, catch a leaf and stand to my feet as I finish my speech and return to the beauty in the concrete.
Todo lo que tengo es porque lo gané. Cometí muchos errores, pero no pierdo las ilusiones sobre los demás ni sobre mí, porque a pesar de todo aprendí y seguí. Muchas veces hundida, pero jamás me di por vencida. Hoy estoy fuerte y disfruto el presente, porque el pasado se deja a un lado y el futuro es cada segundo. Por eso no pierdas el rumbo, entrega cada sentimiento, y cuando estés muriendo será tranquilo y sonriendo por haber fluido con cada latido. Sin importar si alguien te ha herido, dale las gracias por lo vivido, y porque gracias a él te llegaste a conectar con vos mismo. Fue duro el camino, pero una vez entendido, confía en el destino, perdona a los demás y sentite cada paso en paz por haber superado ese miedo a fallar. Déjate llevar, conéctate con la realidad, conéctate con la realidad.
So you're looking for a helping hand, yeah, you got one. As long as you don't mind bloody, bruised, tatted, worn. And you're looking for a place to stay, well, you found one. As long as you don't mind sleeping in the gutter with me. And I know when you fall, I'll be down. When you come around, I'll be down. Say you're working with a broken heart, yeah, I feel that. Still keeps going like the beat, beat, beat of the drum. Steady pulse to remind you that if you don't, someone will always act. Pick up the pieces you left all alone on the floor. Yeah, and I know when you fall, just a little bit perfect. You think you're winning, a little bit wrong. You might be losing. You're just bluffing. Tell them all they're all just bluffing. Oh, show them what I got. How do you know the rules of this game and who taught you? Were they a pro in the know or a hack? You know, something like me. You gotta risk it all or you gotta walk now. Bet it on the turn of the card you can't see. And I know when you fall, I'll be down. When you come around, I'll be down. When you come around, I'm me amigo, who can you count on? When the house has won and all your money is gone. All your money's gone. And you think about the people you've been calling your friends. Well, nothing bad has happened. You're just trying to make amends for things you haven't heard or said or seen. And you're dealing with the hammer of drama queens. And I know when you fall, I'll be down. When you come around, I'll be down. Yeah, I'll be down. When you come around, when that last card falls anew, and it's uncertain and clear. You think you're winning, man. You might be losing, and you're just bluffing. Tell them all they're all just bluffing. Oh, sure, you know it's just a game. The game's important when you're one of the pieces in. You got no second life. That's wrong, let's go. You don't like the cards you hold. It's uncertain and it's full. You think you're winning, never backward. You might be always moving on. So you look for helping hands, yeah, you got one. As long as you don't mind bloody, bruised, tattered, and worn. And you're looking for a place to stay, well, you found one. As long as you don't mind sleeping in the gutter with me.
I built a cage with a garden inside, flowers and boxes and places to hide, just big enough that a bird could take flight. And I built this cage for you.
Hi, everybody. We're back. We were just going over some things while we listened to those awesome songs. That was a great set of songs. We just heard Point Defiance, Better Than This. And we also heard Bird Bones by Future Sons. That's Sons, S-U-N-S, not Sons, S-O-N-S. Just in case you were wondering at home. You were like trying to type it up and you were too lazy to look in the links down below to go and find that band.
Yeah, stop being lazy.
Yep. There you go. Stop making me do everything for you. We heard the Fun Police doing a song called I'll Be Down. And we started it off with Phraseology with Giovanni and Astrid. And they did a song called Parqueros.
Yeah.
It means playgrounds.
Yep.
See? There you
All
go.
right.
All right, everybody, we're back.
Sip some more tea.
We're going to ruin WandaVision for you now. And that's really all I got at the moment. I'm sure I'll come up with some other stuff. Pull it out of my ass as we're plugging along with the day. It's a beautiful day. It's rainy, slushy.
A lot of slush.
Yeah. By the time you're hearing
kind
this,
of
it won't
cold,
be.
but not as cold as it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cold for a couple days.
I mean, I was freaking not liking it whatsoever. You know, it's funny because he got a little dog. It's a little Chiweenie dog, and she doesn't like being cold, wet, or any of those above because she has such short hair and stuff. So make her go to the bathroom. It's just like she'll go out onto the back porch, on the back sidewalk, and then she'll just stand there and look out there. And then I know she's going on in her head. She's all going, "What the fuck are you doing this to me for? Why do I have to go out here? Why can't I go to the bathroom
You are
inside?"
so mean. How can you be so mean to me? All I had to do was go to the bathroom, and now I have to go to the bathroom and I have to suffer.
Yep.
Like, these are two bad things.
Exactly.
Like, not one good thing, two
Yep.
bad things.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't go to the bathroom out there.
Yep.
You got to be crazy. I'm going to shit in the house.
I know, yeah. So, yeah. So,
Well, you get to shit in the house.
yeah.
You've got a whole room for it, dude.
Yeah. So she doesn't like the snow. She doesn't like the cold, the rain, anything like that and stuff. So, yeah. So, yeah, and it's funny. Watch her go out there. But
See,
if you do...
it's funny.
If you
You
throw
hear
her out
yourself.
there, well, if you put her out there and you kind of like act like you're gonna play with her, then she's all, oh yeah, let's play, because you're taking her mind away from the fact that she's in freezing cold and all that. But the second that she realizes that she's cold again, she'll shoot into the house fast. Sometimes you won't even realize that she's gone. You're always going, whoa, where'd she go? And she's sitting up by the front back door going, all right, let's go inside. I'm done.
Yeah. Things like this, I think that I brought this exact same thing up before last winter. This was easier when we were smokers. When we were smokers, you just like you as a smoker, despite everything else, wanted to go out there and smoke. Like, so it was just such a double like killer of like, oh, just knocking these both things out at once. It's great. You know,
well, that was part of scheduling. Scheduling your day, you had to schedule in where you're going to have smoke breaks. If you're going to be able to have smoke breaks at certain times, because if you weren't, then you got to double up and triple up your cigarette intake for that time that you're not going to have it. Or you have to alter your plans to make it, or you try to sneak something in here and there and stuff. And and it was just like,
yes, being
I'm
smoker
over that.
sucked. I mean, it made for great excuses. Oh no, I got to go have a cigarette.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yep.
But, oh no, sorry, can't have smoke. It's after dinner, I have to have a cigarette. It's after lunch, it's after breakfast, it's after my cigarette, I have to have a cigarette.
I just woke up. I got to go to bed. Your before bed cigarette, your just woke up cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After bong hit cigarette. If you have 17 bong hits in a day, that's a lot of cigarettes. It wasn't quite that bad, but I mean, there was a time in my life where I got like, geez, pack and a half. I think like the time where I was smoking a pack and a half in a day. I'm like, holy shit, man, how did that happen? Like,
I got up to the point where I was smoking a pack a day. Never really more than that. It was either right at a pack or maybe a little less, maybe one or two less or something like that.
Yeah. Now that pack and a half, it couldn't have been entirely all me, and it couldn't have been like every cigarette, beginning to end. But it was enough to like just for the expense to go, oh Jesus.
Oh yeah. What?
No offense. Jesus,
Oh yeah.
He's right there. He's like,
Oh yeah. I know. Sorry.
he's fine. He understands.
Yeah, he gets it.
So moving along out of tobacco, into WandaVision. This WandaVision show, it's a pretty good show. They've done such an amazing job in television with this whole business. Getting warm now.
All right.
Getting a little warm. We got this other heater on over here too.
Got 17 scarves
turn this heater off
and
real
4
quick.
hats,
Yeah.
17 pairs of pants.
So WandaVision. Good show. I'm over here, so they can't hear me. WandaVision is a show on the television on Disney Plus, and these people, they're superheroes in a sitcom in a town that are infecting the townspeople with some brain damage. They got someone, Wanda, or someone has some psychic powers going on that are messing with people's brains and scrambling them. And they'll do whatever she wants because she wiggles her little fingers. Her brother's come back from the dead in another dimension in a different body with different memories.
But he's definitely not the same.
Yeah, he's very suspicious.
Yeah. I'm thinking that he may be one of the bad guys.
Yeah, he there's too much, obviously, like, especially like if we're just taking this from like as real people, like, this is all just shady. It's like, you're not really my brother though. Like, I know you're not my fucking brother. So fuck you, man. You're not gonna fool me.
Something shady.
I'll pretend for a while, but I'm not gonna pretend forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a shady scenario, that's for sure.
See, I think that she's in this and isn't necessarily completely responsible for it, but isn't against it. It's just like, oh, this is satisfying.
Yeah.
And
well, I think that she totally doesn't realize 100% of what is going on.
yeah.
I think that she's just so into this illusion that she could have vision that everything else is obsolete, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think she was absolutely oblivious to it for a while. But little by little, it's all starting to come to fruition that, she's realizing that she cannot continue it. It's something that's gonna be harder and harder and harder and harder to contain. So yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah, I remember early on thinking that maybe there was some of that Tony Stark barf technology going on, because he can go back and relive memories or do things, and yeah, I don't really see much of that hinting at that anymore. There's a lot of people who are deep into the comic book world who speculate things about the potential major villain in this story, that it could be like a character called Nightmare or a character called Mephisto, and people give lots of good reasons why and why not. There is definitely a lot that would hint towards Mephisto, I believe, in the show, if you're at all aware of the comic books. And I'm not that deep into comic books. I just know a lot of this adjacently from other stories or just things that I pick up. So I'm not that familiar with the character, but it is like a Marvel version of the devil, kind of. And there's like, if you go back to the very first episode, there's under the floorboards in one of the opening scenes, the cartoon thing, opening scene, you can see a helmet that looks like Mephisto's helmet or something like that, I guess, if I'm picking that up, if I'm interpreting that correctly. And just things about the way that they talk about the devil. And because in the comic books, there's several stories like this, and one of them is that Wanda has two children, Wiccan and Speed, and they are parts of the soul of Mephisto, the demon Mephisto or whatever, and so. And he wants those kids. They're his kids. And so this could all be, again, that this could all be designed because he was trying to get her kids. And he wants them for himself now, whoever he is. And it could be, because Marvel changes things and adapts things, it could be an amalgamation of characters that are a version of this that is wanting this. And maybe not. At all. It could be all Wanda too, and I don't know either way. It's a fun journey. There's supposed to be this is not, I don't know for sure about this, but what I heard from a semi-reliable source was that the next 3 episodes are going to be longer, like much longer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like up to like 45 minutes to an hour maybe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so you could get a lot done in that time if they were that long. And everyone involved in it is very confident, and like you hear you hear Paul Bettany talk about this stuff, and he's like, I think everyone's going to be very satisfied with the ending. You know, like there's going to be like, you're going to like this, like just as a casual viewer or a big time fan, you're going to like go, oh yeah, that was great, and I can see that.
Yeah, probably at the very end scene, Wanda's going to turn around and the Millennium Falcon is going to land and Chewie's going to walk out.
They are creating a thing that can be, especially within her universe, can be abstract meta, where, like, if she's... So, in the comic books, she's referred to as a Nexus being, in which she can exist in all dimensions at once. And so she's just if she's in this dimension, it's where she's choosing to be, but she can just, and she's in a different dimension, and all of a sudden she's gone. Or she's still in your dimension, but she's also in that dimension. She can just bounce around at her will and whimsy, and she just might not be aware of that yet. So that being the case, there's a point in time where, in the last episode, where she says "kick-ass." She's something about, like, I don't even remember correctly. It was something about where she recognizes him from or something, as the Pietro takes off with the kid, and she says "kick-ass," and dude who's playing him was in the movie Kick-Ass. So was the first Pietro. Evan Peters and Aaron Taylor Johnson, or whatever their names are. The 2 people who played Pietro were the 2 friends in the movie Kick-Ass. And so she says that.
Wow.
And it's just this deep, really weird meta reference that is weird, because maybe she's seen the movie Kick-Ass in her life as her character. And wow. and so to deep cut further about that is, essentially, we are a dimension that are just viewing a dimension that they're portraying. And so we're a dimension, and she's has access to all dimensions, and so she can pull the Millennium Falcon in, because even if it's not real or whatever. Well, it's not real, so she'd be pulling an actor in a stage prop. But because unless there's a real Star Wars universe that we're meta-referencing some weird...
Or she could just mentally
create
the blank spots.
Out of something else too, because we've seen her transform things to other things. So yeah, she could.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if there's plot holes, she could fix it.
Well, the problem with this whole mechanism is that it's a plot hole fixer. It's like, it's dimensions. It's alternate dimensions. Oh no! Well, I mean, we're just gonna bring alternate dimension Tony Stark over here for a little while, so we can have Tony Stark back, and he can make some quippy remarks and fix something technical for us. You know, and they can do anything if they do it respectfully and do a good job of it. You know, whatever they do is fine. I don't like things that are exploitative and pander to me, and that are stupid and just cheap, and inauthentic, and don't have cohesiveness and continuity and verisimilitude and all the things that you need for good storytelling. When things like that start to become not important, then I start to just become less interested. That's what happened with Star Wars. They stopped caring as much for a while about the details that are important to the fans. And now they're starting to get back to that, because that's what we're seeing in stuff like The Mandalorian and what they want to do, because they're taking a note out of a page out of Marvel's book and saying, oh, when you really give a shit about the properties that you're working with and then deliver to your fans appreciate it, and they'll come into theaters and spend billions of dollars on the properties. Yeah.
If you give them a good product, they'll come and buy it.
Yep.
Well, give them a mediocre product, and their eyes wander to other places, and it's only a matter of time before something grabs their attention and pulls them totally away.
And this is a good lesson for all creators and music makers, artists of any kind, is that if you're not making good product, you're going to if you're not putting your heart and soul into every detail about your craft and making great music all the time, then people aren't going to gravitate towards your stuff all the time. And you know what?
They're not going to take you as serious if you're not taking yourself as serious.
Also, it doesn't always have to be serious. Let's just backtrack a little bit.
Well, it's not really serious.
No. I'm just saying that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that extreme. It can be, but there's also nothing wrong with music being a hobby. So
exactly.
We can lose sight of both things, because there's hobby musicians who make great.
Well, if you think about it, everything is a hobby that can be taken to a professional level.
Everything's a profession that can just be a hobby.
That too. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Just we don't have to be all corporate all the time.
Nope. Not at all.
That is. You've had a lot more experience in mainstream kind of corporate stuff, and I've been a little more on the fringe of independent stuff, which gives us a nice balance. It's like a yin and yang. It's a great odd couple dynamic. It's classic Abbott and Costello thing that we got going. So this is a good segue though back into music. Should probably play some. I don't know where we are on the show. I'm not keeping track of time. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
We're at the part of the show where Jesus says something.
Jesus, you know what Jesus has to say? He says right here what this song has to say. He says, "Fuck man, I came here to rock."
Yeah! Fuck man, I came here to rock. If it ain't possible, unlock. Please excuse me while I take stock of this place. Just fuck man, I came here to rock. I don't need no groupies, no hair. Don't need no dog bites to grandma, but I'm taking me through there. I'm not celebrating my cock. It's pure and simple. I just fucking rock. I wonder, can you help me achieve this obligatory
I am the game. Yeah, I am doing it. It's over, but to the end, I am doing it. The gang. Yeah, I am doing it. There's doing it. I am doing it. I am the gang.
That noise, feel it in my chest. That cold, see it on my breath. Feel that shiver down your spine. I feel change is coming like a cold and bitter winter, and I don't know what to do, so I'll just feel, I'll just feel. Those clouds rolling in that storm, so dark and forlorn. Feel that shiver down your spine. Change, is that you? I feel change is coming like a cold and bitter winter, and I don't know what to do, so I'll just feel, I'll just feel. I feel that cold, I'll feel it in my veins, feel it in my soul. Change, I'll let you. Change, I'll let you. Change, that's you.
Down around the Sassy River, up on the ridge with the sky. No kisses from the sun this morning, left done in a little drive. I said I think I need something from you, tell me what I can find. But if you're looking for a love like child, well, ooh, there ain't no kind. I know you need it and I need you to know you let the killing before you go. Oh, and not to play the rest for your mind. I put the love but this ain't no kind. Oh yeah, I put the love but this ain't no kind. Oh yeah. Well, tell me the way you get so
Welcome back. You're listening to the MAWPCAST 1 radio program, Tacoma's Best Rock. We're just talking about KISW, so I'm all jacked up. I'm all psyched. We heard a bunch of songs just now. We heard them. We heard Ain't No Kind by Mr. Master. We heard Bitter Winter by Kameno. I Am Game by Cosmo, and started it all off with Fuck Man, I Came Here to Rock by My Name.
All right, I edited it and fixed it.
Okay. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
We're just all waiting for you, Chris. So here we are, talking about KISW, Seattle's Best Rock. We weren't talking about it with you, unfortunately. You weren't with us at that time when we were talking about it. But we didn't talk about anything that is too important. We were just mostly just, chatting about the logo. So it's 50th anniversary of KISW. An institution in local rock radio and music culture in our region. It is the stalwart, the big thing. Now I'll just also say they've not always been the best. I've not always liked everything that they've done. They kind of took a turn for a period of time. I don't know how they're doing now. I'm not following them that closely, but at least for a period of my life, they were an integral and formative part of my life.
Yeah.
KISW.
Yeah, I remember when they were 100.
Yeah.
Not no 99.9 shit they are now, but when they were 100.
I remember when they were deep in the deep rivalry with KZOK, and it being that rivalry made rock radio in the region something worthwhile. They were competing so hard to be the best rock station in the region, and they had so much, both stations at stake for it too. It was great. They both contributed greatly to what we grew up in and what became the local music scene. They were really integral parts of that. And fuck, man, KSW though, started 1971, right around now. I think the first song that they played was "Paranoid" by Black Sabbath, or if I'm not mistaken, I think it was "Paranoid" by Black Sabbath. Yes, and I don't know what was on that station before. I forget now, but they just came on the scene, and I don't even know how well they did at first. Because I was just I wasn't quite born at the time. I was born a couple months later. But
I was 2. I was probably hanging out, rocking out, banging my head to it. No, probably.
Yeah. I was I was largely steered away from the station, although I would hear it here and there. But once I found it in the 9 or 10 range, it was a staple.
Huh?
That heater.
So it's drying you up? Oh, I know, yeah.
That and running my mouth. So,
One more time. Beep, beep, beep.
Yep, you're right.
Thank you.
So, what I remember vividly was coming into radio as a youngster, and probably around 81. Mm-hmm. I was aware of music, and it was a big part of my life, but it was just magical, floating around me. And yeah. Excuse me, audience, listening, choking to death. Yeah, music was magical, floating around me. And I didn't understand a lot about it. It just came out of the radio mostly. And I didn't get how people made it. And then one day in the early 80s, I had a cold. I was sick. I had the flu. I couldn't do anything. Even watching TV was not something I couldn't focus. So it was just had a radio, and I turned on the radio, started listening to radio, and was getting affected by music in weird ways while I was sick there. And like I wasn't into KISW yet, but this is where I started.
Like KJR and stuff like that.
KPLZ and KMBQ were stations I remember bouncing in between a lot. And the what is that? The Always Something There to Remind Me. That song was brand new at the time.
Oh, wow.
And Send Me an Angel.
Oh, yeah.
So like these songs, particularly like hearing those songs while I'm laying there, couldn't even change the station. Basically, I'm just like, and like these songs are amazing. Like whatever's going on here, these songs are amazing.
Magic is happening.
Yeah, and it's like I'm more interested in music all of a sudden. Like I need to know more about songs because songs are magical. This is what I'm thinking as I'm just fucking sick as shit. So then I start surfing dials and stuff, you know, and like finding stations and just digging into stations deeply. And it was there I found a couple of things, KYYX, which was great, and KISW, which was great. KZOK was good also, but by the time I'd found them, KISW had won.
Yep.
Like, at least in the early 80s, from my point of view, my vantage point, wherever I was out in Ording, KSW ruled. Now, KZOK had the cool logo. That was great with the hand. That was great, but KSW was Seattle's best rock. And their DJs, their lineup, I can probably remember almost all of them from that era.
Yeah.
They had... They alternated back and forth, but usually Robin and Maynard were on in the morning with Roy Otis. And then it would give way probably into Steve Dan Wilkie or someone like that. Then so Maynard and Robin, they would be on from 6 a.m. till 10. And then you'd have probably Steve Dan Wilkie from 10 to noon 2. 10 to 2. Then from 2 to 4, you get Crow and West at the drive time. They were great. So you get the morning drive time and the afternoon drive time with Robin and Maynard and Crow and West, and they were fucking phenomenal. Then after Crow and West, you got Steve Slayton. Steve Slayton in his prime. The rockin' like man about town, Steve Slayton. And he was awesome. And then after Steve Slayton, you had Bo Roberts, who was touted as the youngest DJ ever. They said that they found him when he was like 15 or 16. And like these, all of these bled. Then Kathy Faulkner came later, a little later, but she covered the late night shift. And then Bo Rock. So did I?
Well, then they had Metal Shop.
Yeah.
With Adam Gerke.
Yeah, that was way later,
which
right?
Is now, yeah, that is way later, huh?
Yeah. I mean, with him, like, yeah.
Now he does weather. No, traffic or something like that.
Yeah.
Q13, I think.
That's right. But yeah, Bo Roberts, Kathy Faulkner, that whole slew of people were just phenomenal. Kathy Faulkner came right at the tail end of the Epic era, I think. I don't know if she was as far back as that first ensemble and they splintered apart, that ensemble, as later on. A bunch of them went and took over what was KYYX and started KXRX. Maynard and Robin and Crow and West, and a couple people started their own station for a while. Didn't last long. But that was after the downfall of KISW, and I never really figured out what was going on at the downfall of KISW, but it was pivotal, because it was in the late 80s and mid to late 80s. I don't even remember exactly now. Probably, around the time that rock was being challenged by a lot of other things, actually, and it wasn't until Jane's Addiction and Nirvana that rock really came back around. But those early days is where I was focused on. I don't know if I had any real points to it, but there was some good stuff in those early things. The way that their time slots would bleed over, because it was a party all day long. At least it sounded like it. And you'd hear bottles clinking about all the time. Couldn't have just been sound effects. Like, they were having to move bottles out of the way to do their job. Like, it was a good party. It was a good time. And it was fun to listen to. And they played good music, although I recall even in the earliest days of my introduction to it, there was restrictions. Like, I couldn't get them to play Ozzy in the daytime at all.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time frame that you could not hear Ozzy or Black Sabbath or a lot of things, but you could hear Dio.
Yeah,
you know,
I never
like
understood
I didn't quite get that either. Now, you wouldn't hear Black Sabbath with Dio, but you'd hear Dio. But you couldn't hear Ozzy. Like not in the day. A little later in the day, and they started to loosen up about that a lot. But like at least for a long time, it couldn't. And
Well,
it
I
was
think
very
they were
frustrating.
connecting Ozzy more with the devil than they were Dio,
Yeah.
and they were connected
Well,
Black Sabbath directly
during
with the
that
devil.
period of time, Ozzy was very controversial, like biting heads off of live animals, like literally,
Yeah,
and
pissing
peeing on the Alamo.
and-
Yeah.
yeah.
He was doing things that were really like drawing bad attention to you if you were associating with him. So I can kind of understand, but they would still play him later at night. You know, they
Yeah.
wouldn't like completely shy away from him. On the other hand, I was a kid who didn't understand things, so I would try and call stations like KPLZ and try and get them to play Ozzy. And like, this is a true story, and I remembered it the other day. I called Kenton Allen. Kenton Allen been on the radio for a long time, like, because I called them in the 80s as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, right in that range, and trying to implore them to play Ozzy. And like, and there at a certain point in the Bark at the Moon era, Ozzy had the song "So Tired," which in my mind was a pop song. He's a pop star now. Look at him. He can be played on pop stations. This is so great. I can call pop stations and request it. So I'm on the horn, calling Kenton Allen, saying, "Can you play the song "So Tired" by Ozzy?" And like, I'm a kid who called radio stations every day, all of them, KISW, KZOK, KPLs, all of them. And so at a certain point, Kent or Allen, I don't know which one, tells me, this little kid, we're never going to play that fat, bloated drug addict. We're never going to play him, ever. You know, no matter how many times you call, no matter what you say, we're never playing him. And I was just so dejected. And it's like, oh, yeah, I stopped listening to KPLZ a lot after that. It took me a couple years to come back. But I did come back in my later teens.
Little did they know that if they did, that, you know.
It would have looked bad for them. It probably wouldn't have done anything for them at all. Yeah, I loved radio, actually. Like, calling stations was a big deal, too, because you could call the people who were on the air, and you'd talk to them. Like, I would talk to Steve Slayton and Bo Roberts and a couple of these other guys. Slayton, particularly, and Bo Roberts, because of the time frames that they were on, my access to the phones. But also, sometimes in the morning, I'd be calling Robin and Maynard also, because they had a funny show with a lot of interaction. And they had a show also, because I would call into their show all the time and request Ozzy. Because it's the morning, and I want to hear Ozzy, and they're not going to play it. I know they're not going to play it, but...
You're going to request it anyways.
Yeah.
Because they a lot of times they'll play you talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you're live on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. KSW, man, I won like the $100 like 4 or 5 times in my life. The Double Shot Thursday.
Nice.
That was a beautiful thing. Yes. One of those times, like I remembered the second time, like I had worked out the system. Like as I'm waiting, because there's a period of time where you can't win another prize for them, at least in those days. So you had to wait like a month or 6 months or something before you could win another one. So in that time, I realized if there's a single out from a new band, they've only got one song out, they're only playing what's in radio rotation, right? They're not playing B-sides. They're not going to flip your single over and play the B-sides. So the second time I won it was on like Thanksgiving of something, 87, 8, something like that. I don't remember, 6. And they played the single from Bonham, whatever the single from Bonham was. I don't
Yeah.
remember now. But Jason Bonham had a band called Bonham, and it was brand new. And I'm like, oh, this is a brand new song. It was like, so I called and I won $100. Yeah,
Nice.
I used to win tons of stuff off the radio. Tickets. So many tickets. Tickets I wouldn't even use. I'd give to other people. Give to my mom. I gave my mom some bad English tickets. She loved that show.
Nice.
Yeah. And Neil Sean. My mom got to see Neil Sean play guitar.
Nice.
It was pretty rad. Pretty sure he was the guy in Bad English. I don't remember. It was members of Journey and Styx and some other bands. Guy from The Babies, Tom Waits, I think, was singing for him. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, more tattoo work done. What?
Oh, yeah.
See, I got Han Solo's silhouette. And then right here, that's going to be Chewy. He had to stop because it was getting snowy and stuff. So he had to stop. So, but that's ATST, I believe.
Yep.
With Chewbacca. And that's a scene where Han's thinking that this thing is going to shoot him. So he's got his arms up. And it's like the camera view of his arms. And then it shows that, and then all of a sudden the lid pops open and Chewie pops open, and then he goes, we'll shoot this. And then he got into the thing so they could take away the shields for the new Death Star they were building.
I see.
So once this heals up, then it's going to color that and detail that, and then blend it into this side. Then a couple more spaceships up here and over here. And I think some Ewoks down here. And then I got to have some spears with the Stormtrooper helmets on it. Going to have that in here somewhere and stuff. So, little by little, Star Wars arm.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to start doing bands on this arm. All bands I've worked with. Like, I'm going to do the Macaulay little sine wave thing. I'm doing just the sine wave. I'm not saying Macaulay's sound, just a sine. And just bands I've worked with, bands that have kind of helped me become a good sound man, people that I've appreciated and learned from, and bands I admired and whatnot.
I know what a sine wave is. I don't remember why it is called sine. What does the sine stand for?
I'm not absolutely sure.
Yeah,
Because I know that the speaker suspension, that's called the sine too.
This is just like someone's listening to us. And
I could call Mark or Tom and Macaulay and find out. So next time I come in,
we could also just Google it because we got a computer right here. But I was just wondering.
Well, hey, let's just Google that.
Well, while we're Googling that, we should go back to songs. So we've talked a bunch, and this is that time. It's time. It's time for songs. So let's hear them.
I saw some old friends by some old stairs. They tell me old news, I told them old cares. I saw some old crows on an old line. They sang me old songs using old rhymes. Yeah, I don't know if you like me, but I love you. You don't love me. My old days, they were the best ways, but they were always such great days. I saw some old cat on an old street. Well, he's got dirty paws from the dirty creek. I saw his old love at her old house. She was a great host. I brought the dead mouse. Yeah, I don't know if you like me, but I love you. You don't love me. My old days, they were the best ways, but they were always such great days. I took this old car for a long drive. Well, it was getting old, but then the engine died. I took these old shoes for a long walk. I got these old blues because it's nothing new. Yeah, I don't know if you want to, but I'd like to if you want to. My old days, they weren't the best ways, but they were always such great days. I met an old man with a strange pipe. We had a good smoke, and I said good night. I took my old coat with a bad stain for a long ride on a long train. Yeah, I don't know if you like me, but I love you. You don't love me. My old days, they weren't the best ways, but they were always such great days.
said we treasure. About a bitch, we take the head together. Now we barely speak, relationship fairly weak. Never thought you'd be one of the reasons I had to carry the heat. Never had to worry about the nigga with your back fade. Remember stacks made in the crack game. Years of frustration in the rap game. Now you looking at me like you wanna get mad, like I owe you back pay. Never let the money cloud the love. First rule, guess it wasn't sound enough. When we had a quarter pound, the puff was all down the thug. Thought we had found the love, was like T-Town, nigga beating down niggas, getting drunk till it wasn't no fun. Stuck together like G-Style, nigga, we was all we had because we knew it wasn't no son. Yo mama, my mama, yo beef, my drama. No doubt, nigga, your blood, my trauma. Funk with the crew, know what to do. Load the tools and chew niggas like Jeff Dahmer. Getting purred while we surfing on the curb. My nigga got the herb, now we laughing, getting tacked out. Now I gotta greet a homie with the Mac out. When we could've made the whole world black out. Come on. If a nigga fall, the chips fall, can you still get a corner with me? It's all in y'all, phone call, down to the E&D. If a nigga fall, the chips fall, can you still get a corner with me? It's all in y'all, phone call, down to the E&D. I put it down with lyrical paintbrush. Do you believe what you can't touch? The physical ain't much. Niggas dealing in the physical, can't be trusted. Top of foot to bounce when all the dank get dusted. When your bank get busted, who gon' be around your broke ass? Still talking about now, that's my nigga. If I had $1, you had 50 cents, gave your clientele. Plus you drank half my liquor. It's the way of the world, my friend, to make a heart turn cold. When it start to unfold, gotta handle the pressure. Lose control, make a friend turn foe, cause you refuse to study your lessons, boy. Went from nickels and dimes to bitches and rhymes. Shit, the same criminal mind, decision to grind. All looking for signs, but keep it in mind. Even the blind gain vision in time. Now I see it all for with it be right in front of me. Niggas getting hugged with no expression. Testing boundaries of the loyalty, but still be afraid to answer the question. Can we still run the neighborhood side by side with the attitude ride or die? Have we gone too far to turn back? Was it fake from the start? Don't try to lie. Never change my approach. All my folks see the hopes come true. Stay down till I'm just a ghost. If I flip me a mill, I'll never get a record deal. I pledge allegiance to the real niggas. Raise a toast. Come on. If a nigga fall, shit fall, can you still hit a corner with me? It's all in all. Phone call, down to the E&D. If a nigga fall, shit fall, can you still hit a corner with me? It's all in y'all. Phone call, down to the E&D. If a nigga fall, shit fall, can you still hit a corner with me? It's all in y'all. It's just a phone call, down to the E&D. If a nigga fall, shit fall, can you still hit a corner with me? It's all in y'all. It's just a phone call, down to the E&D. Down to the E&D. Can you still hit a corner with me? Down to the E&D. Can you still hit a corner with me? Yeah. One love. My niggas that put me up on this. DCP's the click. Yeah. Come on.
Isolation, rebooting race, hatred, malice, a sickening display. Uploaded to a world made divided, a new kingdom for this program of moral corruption, infinite pollution, no more future. Hatred, malice, a sickening display. Wretched, putrid, the whole human race. Hatred, malice, a sickening display.
I know in here it's like nice. We walk out there, it's just like, oh yeah, it's fucking winter. I forgot.
Yeah. It's a different environment. Like a different county, different region. It's not cool. It is cool. That's the problem. Yep. Here it's cozy. Under
Yes.
the bright lights of the podcast, we can get snuggled in and have bong hits and not have to worry about the shrill, cold, harsh world outside.
Oh, I know.
Boy, unfortunately, we're winding our show down. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's get back on track. Tell these people what they heard. They don't know that we've been gone for 30 minutes, peeing and frolicking about in the winter. Hi, everybody. We're back from our pee break. And we heard a bunch of songs. We heard Override Deletion by Blunt Force, featuring Jacob Fernand. What do you think, Chris? Doe or Dez?
Doe.
Dez.
Yeah.
Nope. Yep, Dez. Fernandez.
That's
Sorry. Yep, Jacob Fernandez. And then we heard Hit a Corner featuring Andrea by Drano. Drano featuring Andrea doing Hit a Corner. Hit a Corner. You know, you get it. I just want to point out a pet peeve I have with rap.
What's that?
Is that they put, and I understand the necessity for it, but they put a person next to the song. It's like, it's a song title, and the song title is a sacred thing in the world of, like, sacred things.
Yeah.
And then but when you tack things onto it, it starts to weigh it down.
Yep.
It's like, because the song title isn't featuring Andrea. Like, that's not the song title. It's not.
Yep.
That's not where that goes. That's a liner note thing or a subtitle thing. It's not it's not part of the name. It shouldn't be in parentheses. It should be in brackets. If it's going to be there, it should be in brackets.
Yes.
That's just my thing. Sorry, just to the rap.
Well, you know,
community out there.
somebody just complained, oh, I don't get enough respect.
I understand. Well, okay, let's double down on that. So producers. So the producer especially doesn't need to be credited in the track title. The track title. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. It works that way in rap, but it shouldn't. You know, the producer, yes, the producer's important, especially in a lot of rap. The producer's very important as the artist. So they should be billed with the artist. That's where the billing goes. The billing doesn't go on the song title. The billing goes with the artist. The artist it's the artist featuring this person on their song. It's not the song featuring that person.
Yep.
I understand that it can be contextualized that way, but it's not. Sorry, everybody.
I know, we don't need a book of information on one song.
This is why we need more people working on the show, because they could be clipping bits of the show out and then putting them on the internet in little bits, because that's what the kids love. They love bits. They love little bits where you just bitch about something, and the kid's like, "Oh yeah, that is bullshit." I agree. Anyway, before that tangent, we also heard a song called "Rhythm Method" by Chavita. The song is exactly what it sounds like it's about. And then we started it off with "Dirty Paws" by Patrick Doherty, and I do not know what that song's about.
All right. Right on. Yeah, before the break, we were talking about, you know, my tattoos and stuff. We were talking about Sine Wave, because I want to get a Sine Wave from the company that I used to work for, Macaulay Sound. They have this Sine Wave behind their name. That's really cool. And Potter was asking, well, what does Sine Wave mean? And I didn't know. So I looked it up, and this is the one definition of it. It is a sine wave is a geometric waveform that oscillates, moves up and down or side to side periodically, and is defined by the function y equals sine x. In other words, it is an S shape, smooth wave that oscillates above and below zero. So
Yep.
that's the shape of an S. So sine wave.
There you go.
That's the easy one.
Now we're informed. Now I know. I'm satisfied. I know that a sine wave is in the shape of an S.
Yep.
Now I can better identify one when I run into them in my daily life. I deal with sound waves all the time. I take that for granted and I don't think about it, but all the time I'm playing with sound waves, and I will zoom into them sometimes and just get right down deep into them. Like, and I have for a while. Like when I was sampling and did some sampling before, and like I was just kind of natural at that, and not I don't know how hard it is, but I've heard some horrendous sampling before, and it's just like, wow, how did you get that job?
Yeah. Who lost their job and hired you
Yeah.
because they didn't know what they were doing? Oh yeah, I've seen that many a times.
Yep. So we're winding our show down now. We could check out at any time. We could fill it up for the next 20 minutes, which we're prone to do sometimes. We don't know yet because we do this whole show by the seat of our pants.
Yep.
We don't really know what we're talking about. We don't write things down. Occasionally, we'll write down a note or two or say things that
Every
we're
once in a
thinking
while
of.
we're prep stuff, but we
Um,
try not to because we think it. Well, I don't know. I guess we don't try either way.
Yeah. we just
But I
kinda-
guess I think that if it'd be cool to have a bunch of informations for blank spots, but I think that after a while it might lead to sounding very mechanical and very like we don't really care about certain things and stuff, and we tend to bring up and talk about stuff that truly interests us, and that's why we're talking about it and stuff. If we go by what everybody else wants to hear and stuff, then it's really just like every other show, I guess.
That's right. We're very spontaneous and sincere.
Yeah,
Yep. Authenticity. That's our middle name.
exactly.
MAWP Authenticity Cast.
Yep.
I would have gone between the one. MAWPCAST Authenticity one. I don't know. I don't know where it'd go. I'm just kind of filling in time while I smoke my bong hit. There are other things I'm sure that we could delve into, but I don't want to delve too deep off the deep end, even though it doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of meandering about, I see these other people do it. They just do it. They just talk about nothing for a while. It's like you listen to that Pat McAfee show. I don't know if you ever do. He's a sports guy, but motherfucker can just talk. And he's not saying a lot for a long time. And it's like you listen to the first 30 minutes of his show, and it's like a monologue, like how our old. I mean, they probably still do it on talk shows to come out and do a monologue for the first 5-10 minutes and then get on with their show. It's just a very standardized talk show format. But what was my point about monologuing?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't make it. I didn't make it quick enough.
No.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, McAfee. Just fucking motherfucker can monologue for 30 minutes about nothing.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, most of the monologues that we're used to, they have points. Like, that's part of why I got lost is because his whole thing just makes no sense. It's like, but it's entertaining, I guess, to the kids. The kids love the shit out of it. Like, and you do. So what I get out of it though is that through his format, you'll find kernels of authenticity. So he'll bring in people from the sports world, and he'll let their guard down. He'll take their guard down. He'll get them right down into that place where you want to be when you're talking to someone, because most people are like, yeah, and so no, we should be more comfortable and relaxed and just have a conversation. And when you're in that conversational mode, you'll get out more authentic, real conversation. As some people would say, like during the last year with this guy Pat McAfee interviewing Aaron Johnson every week, a lot of people were analyzing this and saying, well, he's redefining the way an interview's done. He's really not. He's just being very casual about it. Like he's not even really being professional about it. Which is another thing. And
Just winging it.
we started off not being professional. We have elements of professionalism. You more so in your expertise and skill, but
Well, that's just repetition.
yeah, our whole show as a thing, we weren't like shooting for this big, serious production, especially production value. What we're trying to do is like throw things together and say, oh, this is what you can do. Like it's this easy or this hard, because it's not. I play like it's very easy, and there are things at the individual elements, all the individual elements that we do every week. They're very easy, but it's time consuming. Like
Well, they all have their variants of difficulties, but nothing is like drastically.
like time consumption and tedium.
Yep.
That those things can be difficult for a lot of people. They can just be like, oh, I can't stand to do that thing. Like this thing just takes so long to endure. And then if it doesn't pan out, then you're like, oh, then the frustration that comes at, because sometimes things just don't work out right.
Yep.
You know, there's lots of variables and ones that are even far out of our control. Not just mechanical, but like say when we put stuff up on YouTube and they want to block us because of a copyright restriction or something like that.
Yeah, those blockers.
Yeah. Well, someday there'll be a day where everything will be free. Like songs, you just hear them. You can just hear Van Halen and Prince at a ball game, and no one has to pay royalties for that because hell, those guys are dead anyway. You know, why are we paying Eddie Van Halen and Prince to play their songs? I don't understand. Yeah, royalties are fucking. Boy, don't get me started on royalties. We don't got time for that conversation right now.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, that's
because it's a conversation that just doesn't make sense. It's one of those just like
that's a conversation that kind of goes in like a figure eight.
some things about royalties make perfect sense. It's like, oh yeah. This thing like, and there are some things I would never argue with. It's like, oh, this song being used in this way should definitely get paid this amount of money for that whole thing. Not all things are. Not everything's a commercial use, right?
Exactly.
For instance, we aren't commercial at all.
No.
We don't make any money. We don't do this for profit. We are doing this. We're basically a public broadcast system. Like we're a PBS show that's ran out of our pockets and the donations of others, and mostly our pockets. So,
yeah, we'll work on the donations thing once we get some merchandise.
There's a lot of things that we, like. I've got the infrastructure of things in place. It's just the things to fill the holes. They're not all in place yet.
Yep.
So yeah.
Filling all the gaps.
Yep.
Getting all the ducks in a row. Yes.
That's what it's all about. And local music. See, but, you know, here's the thing. Not everyone who listens to us is in our local area. So, you've got local music in your area, wherever you are around the world, because not everyone's around this country even. Some people are out of this country and they're listening to the show. Like, you've got local music in your area. Like, if you're not supporting our local scene, you can support your local scene wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And it never hurts to support our local scene too.
Yeah.
Like wherever you are. And in fact, if you ever like, or if you're in Egypt or Cambodia or wherever you are, and you're like hearing us, and you're like, hey, I want to support one of those bands, or I like this music, I want to buy that album. Like, buy that album. Go and buy it. They're on Bandcamp or they're wherever they are. Maybe you can find it on Amazon. You can get the physical copy of it.
Maybe we should come up with a segment of called Your Local Music, where you guys out there that are listening, send us your favorite local band, a song from your favorite local band from where you are. Tell us about where you're from, and then that one song, and then maybe we could play that one song, have a segment of just like a 5-minute segment.
Well, you've said it, so I guess we're gonna have to do it.
No, we don't have to. I mean, it's an idea.
I didn't mean to put it like that either. I just
didn't
mean to
it's
sound
an
like
idea.
that. No, it is. It's actually a very good idea. That's what I meant to.
Because
didn't mean to disparage your idea.
Because maybe by doing that, we could get those people to invest more into their scene.
No, and it's a great idea. Yeah. And also expose some of that to our scene. Also, it's like, that's a great idea. Because we do have a lot of people listening to us out of our region, out of our state, and out of our country, and we think that's rad, and we want to encourage that. And it's not like it's that big a deal, but it is cool to be able to have your song featured on anywhere. This is something I don't understand about.
I mean, it doesn't have to be their band.
Yeah,
It could
no.
just be- yeah,
I know.
yeah.
This is something I don't understand about people. A lot of people is like, if someone wants to play your music, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want them to? Like, because there are people in our scene, and it's not just where we're concerned, but people who just aren't as concerned with anyone hearing their music. They just don't care. Active bands, people who are in the scene now, who are just like, hey, people would like to hear your music, and they're like, so? I remember you recorded some stuff. I know you got a stack of records. You got some CDs.
Oh.
So? People would love to buy them from you and hear your music. So? I was like, wow. Why'd you make it?
Why bother?
Yeah, you didn't need to make the merchandise if you didn't want to sell the merchandise. You didn't need to write the songs if you didn't want people to hear the songs. You didn't need to, because we talked just briefly earlier about hobby bands that are just in it for hobbies. But even some hobby bands, their material's worth being heard. It's worth. There's a lot of bands that have only done cover material. Doesn't make their music any less worthy. It could be heard. People would like to hear it. There's great bands and musicians who made livings doing covers. Elvis did a lot of covers, in his day. Made a living forging rock and roll, doing cover songs.
Yeah.
Just a thing, to think of, that you could be, you're depriving the world of something that they're longing for. And you know what? Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole point. The world wants it. Fuck the world.
Yep.
They're not going to get it from me.
Nope. Fuck you all. Fuck everybody.
Yeah. You know what? I can relate with that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh,
yeah. I get it now. I'm sorry. I take everything back. Fuck you, and you keep your music. Just keep it. Nobody wants to hear it if you don't want them to hear it.
Yep.
We should respect you.
Yep. We should.
But if I find it, I'm going to play it.
Yep.
Just I'll let you know that.
We're going to exploit it as much as we can.
Yeah.
Just let you know ahead of time.
We're not exploiting it. We're promoting it. Like, literally, if I was exploiting it, I would make some fucking money.
It's exploiting in a good way.
It's promoting. I'm promoting these lazy people. A lot of lazy people.
People that don't know what the hell.
There are some people who work very hard and they promote their asses off, and it's a mixed bag what you get in the local scene. It's a lot of things.
That is very true.
And with all that, I've filled enough time. We're good. We're good to go. We've heard it. We've all heard it all. Thank you for listening. There's links to the bands in the descriptions down below.
Oh, down below. Check that out.
There's links to where you can find the podcast if you're watching us. There's links to where you can watch the podcast if you're listening to us. Yep. You can find links to just about everything. On a lot of these shows, that'll be like, I'll turn to you and say, where can people find you, Chris? If they want to find you in the real world and follow you and listen to your witty antics in the daily social media world. But we don't do that. We don't care. We're on social media, at least some of them.
Yeah.
But,
I'm on one.
they're not that important. What's important is the bands in the descriptions down below. Follow them. Like them. Tell them that we sent you. If you're in another country and you're buying a band, an album from A-Leaf, say, hey, we heard this on MAWPCAST 1. If you're buying something from, one of the bands we just played today that wasn't A-Leaf, because we're not playing A-Leaf today. This was the top of my head. Then just say, hey, we heard you on MAWPCAST 1. We wanted to buy your record and support your band. That's a great thing to do. And then they'll go, what the fuck is a MAWPCAST 1? And then
they'll
say,
look it up
it's a
and they'll
podcast
know,
in your
what the fuck
town.
is
Yeah. Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Right on.
Have a good week. We didn't talk anything about President's Day. It was President's Day, huh?
The ocean has a way of shaping the rocks that sit between you and your thoughts. A sentimental erosion between you. You are the sea of life that's so green. 'Cause when you're 6 feet under a wave that you've been riding for days, let it go and open your heart to break.
this could be. My dead head is filled with dread. Say something and
just blinded by despair.
Remember all the lies you've had, remember all the shit you've seen, remember all the times you've died and coming back to life again. I'm alive again. Death, you will never defeat me. There's no grave that can keep me. I rise. I rise. Immortal, I am more than my body. Illusion, it's all part of this game. Remember, close your eyes and remember. Remember, quiet mind and remember. Remember all the lies you've had, remember all the shit you've seen, remember all the times you've died and coming back to life again. Close your eyes and remember. Death, you will never defeat me. I rise. There's no grave that can keep me. There's no grave that can keep me. I rise. Remember all the lies you've had, remember all the shit you've seen, remember all the times you've died and coming back to life again. I'm alive again.
Well, darling, you're a cold one. You're like an ice cold shiver with a 10-foot mold. But darling, my desire is like a wildfire howling at the rising dawn. But blame it on that cold weather. And darling, you're a tough one. I try to crack you like an itty bitty nut.
said never come back again. They said someone saw him stealing. Guess our fun, it had to end. So now we can't go into jackpot, but that's okay, that's fine. 'Cause now there's something better. We've got food stamps to get our grinds. 5-finger discount. It was a buy none, get one free. It was a 5-finger discount, and they weren't even looking at. 5-finger discount. It was a buy none, get one free. It was a 5-finger discount, and they weren't even looking at. 5-finger discount. It was a buy none, get one free. It was a 5-finger discount, and they weren't even looking at me.
Darling, close your eyes. I know how you feel, but don't you think we did the best we could to make it all seem real? Don't you think it's time that we said goodbye for all the time you spent running away was maybe all in time? I don't want a long and sad goodbye. It should come to us with no surprise. If I had the words to make you stay, you know that I would say this. Now don't give me those eyes, 'cause I don't wanna cry. And don't tell me that we can still be friends, 'cause you know that's a lie. And if I had 2 lives and one I gave to you, well, that's a dream, and we both know dreams seldom come true. I don't want a long and sad goodbye. This should come to us as no surprise. If I had the words to make you stay, you know that I would say them. Darling, close your eyes. I know how you feel, but don't you think we did the best we could to make it all seem real? And maybe on some lonely, lonely night when everybody else is out outside, and you've had some time to think, you might decide you love me. Don't you think it's time that we said goodbye?
It's easy to forget someone's alive. We're all just trying to live our lives. But when I look in the mirror, what do I see? The scared little girl looking back at me. You're passing in the hallways, no idea what goes on at home. Got cuts and bruises on his face, and a story that will never be told. But like the last, you let him pass, heading down a dark road, but no one will know. Pack up your bags, we're leaving. I don't wanna stay here no more. Stop the tears, the bleeding. I don't wanna see you cry no more. And when you leave me, I'll be fine. I just hope you'll be alright. Her story, she was pregnant, must be true. Got knocked up by some guy at a bar far away from here. It's too bad, it's too bad you were too late to say I love you. Pack up your bags, we're leaving. I don't wanna stay here no more.
she'll always be my lady and will rather be this way.